Good morning, welcome. I'm Zizi. Today I would like to share with you part of my life story, hoping that it would inspire and we could discuss what is it that we can learn from something like that. I don't want to say it, but the question is, what can we learn from situations like this? How can we as parents or as individuals use this as a learning experience? The story started from a few years ago, where I was diagnosed with pre-cancer situation which required a hysterectomy, a full hysterectomy. And I had that surgery, and it was a vaginal hysterectomy. And after the operation, the doctor in the recovery room discovered that all my signs were faltering and going down quickly. And there was a moment there where he felt, well, this is really going bad. So he told my parents there's no need to wait because I'll be in the recovery room for quite a while and they can go home. When he came back, he said I was still under this anesthesia, but I told him, he said, you must have been talking to someone up there, because you told me specifically I have internal hemorrhaging and do something, because I have a cousin that died because of the same reason, where the doctor didn't notice that she was internally bleeding. So he did what he had to do, and I was saved from that situation by the grace of God, my beloved. And I want you to know that without the grace of God in my life, I wouldn't be here today. My life is full of instances of small miracles that only Him I can thank for that. So when I was recovering at home, the next day, my son was playing on his guitar, A Stairway to Heaven. I love that song. So I got out from bed and went to the living room and sat on my lazy boy and just stretched out in relaxation. Lo and behold, a few minutes later I was totally under, like as if that song hypnotized me, like sometimes I did with my patients when I was practicing. What did I see? I saw my little baby, myself, baby Zizi, 1 year old, totally paralyzed in bed. My God, look what pain she's under and how she's suffering. That poor Zizi. My heart went out to her. I was an observer, looking at her as a mother and looking at myself as a child of 1 year old who had all the hopes in the world to become a ballerina. She was precocious, beautiful, dancing, singing, talking, doing everything at the age of 8 months or something. So, lo and behold, in a few minutes, 2 people, very young, like 19 and 20, come through the door, crashing in and coming to the bed and holding her and crying and screaming and in complete shock. These were my young parents. They are so young, I said to myself, so young, and here I was blaming them all my life that they're responsible for what I was in. How can I blame such young, beautiful couples who don't even know what it's like to have a child, let alone to deal with a child that has polio, or to leave and go for a belated honeymoon and leave the child with the best 2 grandparents, paternal and maternal? What could they have done more? How could I have blamed them? And seeing them that way, and poor Zizi screaming and saying, Mommy, Papi, why did you leave me? Look at me, I can't move, I can't do anything, my head is the only thing that moves. What's going to happen to me? I can't walk, I can't run, I can't dance, I can't be a ballerina anymore. And the more she talked, the more they sobbed and the more they screamed, why didn't you tell us? It was a horrific situation. And for that moment, I felt, oh my God, a flood of love, forgiveness, and everything I can imagine happened to me that day. Not only towards the little Zizi feeling sorry and all that, and my parents having blamed them all my life, but it almost felt like I love the universe. I love everybody. I have no resentment. I cannot experience any kind of anger anymore. And that was really true. So I came to, and I told my son, who was playing the guitar, and my husband the story. And I rushed to the phone and I tried to call my parents right away. Luckily, they were still alive. Luckily, they were in Egypt, of course, and I was in Canada at the time. And I found them at home, and I talked to both of them, and I told them what happened. And I said, forgive me, I blamed you all my life, and I really didn't understand what you went through, and I'm sorry, forgive me. And they started asking me for forgiveness for having left me, and we had never discussed this issue in my entire life. And that's where I think we need to communicate with our children and our children with us. So anyway, once this was over, they said, we're going to write you more detail, but I'm glad we were able to talk about it. And both of them felt so relieved. But I felt my heart was aching for parents, young parents like that. At that age, I guess they were married so young. And I felt, look at my children here. How can I? And I remembered once, my younger son had part of his finger crushed by one of our maids who closed the door on it, and we had to reattach it. And I was flabbergasted and shocked, and I stayed a week beside him for 3 days until the doctor assured us that the finger is not going to fall off. So can you imagine what they have gone through, what they have experienced all their life? Oh my God. Of course I forgive them. Of course I love them, and I love the world. Since that day, I have changed completely. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being there, and I hope that you can give me some feedback on this. Thank you so much. Thank you.